Howdy gang, Michelle here, and today I am bringing you a really great hat that I absolutely love, and I'm sure you guys will too. Now, I am calling this the Lupine, and the reason why is because this color blue reminds me of lupine flowers. If you've ever seen them or you know what they're like, it's this bright blue flower that really just pops in the springtime, and that's what this reminded me of. So that is why I named it that. Obviously, not finished with it yet. Coming soon. You guys know the routine. Anyway, this particular hat I love. Now, obviously, if you use a different yarn, if you use something that's a little bit thicker, I just realized that my nails match the hat. Whoa. It's not going to have the same airy texture that you can kind of see right here. But that's okay. I mean, you can use a thinner yarn like I'm using now. This particular loom is my Sandwood 66 peg, 1/2 inch. The reason why is I like my hats a little bit bigger as far as, you know, not really tight on my head because I do have a lot of hair, and I like the breathability of this because when you do have a lot of hair like I do, your head tends to get over warm and then it's uncomfortable. So this is obviously the inside of the hat, which is very similar to the outside. Now, the reason why I love this, as you can see, that airiness there is great. Now, if you use a thicker yarn, or if you do this on a smaller gauge loom, it's not going to have as airy of an effect. So it's totally up to you depending on who you're making the hat for, if they like breathability or not. The other thing I like about this, I'm going to hold it a little bit closer, is it's similar but different than the linen stitch. And it gives these two lines in here, and then as you stretch it, obviously it comes together down here, and you can see it a little bit better how, you know, the knit stitches come together and it looks a little cleaner. But this is a really great hat. It comes together really quickly. I did this here. Obviously I didn't finish it yet because I wanted to show you guys the video. But it only took me, depending on how fast you knit, please don't compare yourself to me because apparently I'm a machine. This is easily a weekend hat, you know, if you don't spend a whole lot of time looming all at once or anything like that. But this does work up pretty quick. It's like the linen stitch, so there's really no purling. You just have that work yarn in front, which is not a purl, but you're taking that, what you would normally purl, and just looping it back on there, which if you guys have done my linen stitch, you know how to do that. If not, there is a video that I'm going to link you guys to, obviously, of my linen stitch, and I can show you how easy it is to do that. I'm going to show you here as well. Now, for this particular one, I left off on round 1. Now, for this yarn that I'm using, this is yarn that I got from my landlady's knit shop. As you can see, Allen Knit Shop and Spinning Supply. Absolutely love her. And it is 100% superwash merino. This weight is a worsted, but it's a thick worsted. So I'm going to say it's like a 4.5. Okay, it's not bulky, but it's not true worsted. It's kind of in the middle there. All right. And this color is called dark turquoise. Absolutely love the variation of colors in it. You can see some darks, you can see some lights, and that really comes through in the hat as well. So for this, the only thing you're going to be doing as far as your stitches is just your knit, which is a U-knit or a true knit, no E-wrap, and then work yarn in front. All right. And that's really how simple it is. So there's 8 rounds, 8 rows, however you want to say it, and you're going to double up each. So for example, round 1 and 2, it's just a knit. That's it. Okay. 3 and 4, you're going to work that yarn in front, which I'm going to show you how to do, and then knit. 5 and 6 is knit, and then 7 and 8 is knit, and then work yarn in front. So if you've ever done the linen stitch, it's the same thing, but it's only singular. So you would do 1 round of knit instead of 2. Okay. So that's why I said it. If you've done that before, this is going to be really easy to do, and you'll know how quickly it works up. So I'm going to grab my hook, my handy dandy. I love this Maleficent hook. This is one that Steve Axelrod from Artisanal Turnings had made for me. and it's a one of a kind. These colors aren't available out of his selection. He did this specifically for me because he knows that I love molescent. So there we go. Anyway, so I left off to where I would be on round one, and as you can see, round one is just a knit, round two is a knit, and then work yarn in front and then knit. So what I'm going to show you guys, because if you've already seen any of my videos before, you know that I like to take the time, even if it's something that's simple, and show you guys how to do it. So I'm going to go and knit my row 1 and row 2, and then I'll be back to get on row 3 to show you guys how to do that work yarn in front. Okay, so I'm just going to knit. I'm going to pause the video, and then I'll be back in a moment. All right, so I'm coming up on the end of my row 2 or round 2. All right, so now I'm back at my starter peg. Now, another thing that you guys already know about me is I love using artist tape or masking tape and marking my looms because it makes my life so much easier. And what I've done is, you see I have 2 sets of dashes here. So the top one represents rounds 3 and 4 for me, so I know which pegs I need to slip. And then the bottom row, which is blue, represent 7 and 8, round 7 and 8. So that way when I'm working on this, I can move along really quickly. And then if I have to walk away or, you know, respond to a message or whatever the case may be, I can come right back and I know exactly where I was, because then when I use my phone app or the counter app on my phone, so I know which round I'm on. And then I also know by looking at this what I should be doing, instead of going back and not having it marked and then going, oh God, I gotta knit this one or purl that, you know. So if you have some masking tape, painter's tape, artist tape, whatever you want to use, I highly, highly, highly recommend using that for things like this, because it makes life so much easier. So I'm going to go on rounds 3 and 4, and I know that on these ones here that are purple, I need to slip those. On the ones that aren't marked, I knit. So this very first one, obviously, is a slip. Now, if you guys have watched my linen stitch video, it's the same exact technique. So it's almost like you're going to purl. What you're going to do is grab the working yarn from the bottom, loop it, and then just bring that loop right to the back. You don't have to move this yarn that's already on the peg. You just leave it there. The only reason why you're going to touch it is to just grab the other one. Now this one, I'm just going to knit. The next one is a work yarn in front. So scoop it, grab it, and then just drop it over that peg. Knit. So I'm going to bring this up to see if you guys can see this a little better. All right. So I'm on this one right now. I'm going to bring my working yarn down. This is kind of awkward for me to hold like this, but you guys will be able to see. Grab that working yarn, make that loop, just swoop it up over the peg so this working yarn really doesn't move, and then just tug it, and you'll see from the underside that you have that fresh yarn. It's kind of loose down there. Okay, and as you can see here, if you look right here, when I pull that, that's why it's like a loose strand back there. Okay, and then I'm just going to continue this round and the next the same way. So I'm going to knit one, work one in front, knit one, work one in front, and just continue that all the way around. And that is how easy it is. So for rounds 3 and 4, for me, I'm going to follow my purple dashes, and then for round 7 and 8, I'm going to follow my blue ones. And again, that's why I said this makes it a whole lot easier for me, because I'm constantly having to stop, whether it's to deal with family issues or respond to messages, phone calls, whatever the case may be. And then I can walk away, come back to it and go, oh, all right, I know where I was. My row counter says I was on row 4. And then I can tell by where my last knit was, or my last stitch was, what I was doing. All right, so that's how simple this is. And then I'm just going to continue doing this, like I said, for row 3 and 4, and then 5 and 6 is just going to be knit, and then 7 and 8, it's going to be the same thing, but I'm going to go and work the blue dashes instead of the purple one. And I continue that until I get to my desired length. Usually for a standard hat that's not slouchy, I do about between 8 and 9 inches. So let's take a look at this real quick and see where we're at. So when I measure, I always put the top part of my measure tape here so it grabs between the two pegs, because if you see here, that's where the 0 is. And then I just kind of let it hang down through. And as you can see right here, I'm at 7 inches, okay? Even if you stretch it a little bit, wait a minute. No, I'm at 6 inches, sorry. So I'm at 6 inches. So that means I got about another 3 to go on this, and I will be done. But that's how simple this is. And obviously I'm stretching it here so you guys can see that texture a little better. Let me see if I can focus that in. Come on, focus. There we go. And as you stretch it, the stitches get nice and tight, and then you can see those lines going through. And like I said, if you want to use a thicker yarn, you are more than welcome. Again, there's no looming police here. I like a nice breathable, airy hat. If you use a thicker yarn on this, or you go with a smaller gauge, obviously it's not going to be as lacy or breathable, but it's totally up to you. I love to see everybody's variations and see what everybody comes up with. So there you go. Thanks so much, gang. I really love and appreciate you all, and have a great day. Happy looming.